Hi, guys.
Hey, hope all is well.
Thanks.
Yeah. I don't know if we want to stay on the same topic we were on. I don't want to be rude here, but I would like to ask you some questions after they wrap up.
Okay, cool.
I don't have any further things. She asked a simple question about the theody, and that's what I know. So
Okay.
Yeah, same here.
All right.
Welcome, Cassidy.
Well, yeah. So Cassidy, what's your take on that whole experiment, and has your initial position changed since? And yeah, what's going on? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's hard to, well, I guess how I would sum it up is basically, I think they went there and they saw the sun do what they saw. But I think that the Earth is still flat. I don't know. Simple as that, I guess.
Okay.
Can I just
But I have
here?
a lot of
I had a
problems with
question.
Will Duffy.
follow up.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Who was that? Was that Quan? Were you trying to get in, Quan?
Yeah, I just had a follow-up question, if that's okay.
Yeah, shoot for it.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, Cassidy, would you subscribe to the dual pool model or the Gleason?
To the what model or the Gleason?
The dual pool or the Gleason.
I don't really know. I don't really have any. I kind of took a step back for a while. I don't really know. What about you?
I still think it's a singular pool, just a single pool. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense to me with
Well, I
the
mean,
way.
I don't know how that would make sense to anyone though. Is there an example of a single monopole in nature at all?
Oh,
Well,
is that what that means?
what does that mean?
I mean, polarity necessitates a dual pole. I don't know what. Maybe you're referring to something else when you say pole. I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's normally even as flat earthers, we call it the North Pole. But I guess would there be two of those, basically the South Pole and the North Pole, where the sun goes around each pole, and so that's why there's a 24-hour sun, or would it just be the North Pole and still the ice wall, and that's where they went to, the ice wall?
So you're talking specifically the North Pole, but not like the northern magnetic pole.
You're correct.
I have a theory on why the sun's rotating in the other direction at the south. I don't think thank you. I don't actually think they're looking in the right direction. Let's say if you do go to the south and someone and you're not looking at the north, the sun would appear to rise from your left to the right or vice versa, right?
Correct. If you're on opposite sides.
Exactly. So I think what they've done is probably fooled people because you can't use a magnetic compass at the south, which would be odd for a globe, because if you look at the globe with the magnetic field, it should wrap around the globe, right? All the way from the north to the south. But since compasses don't operate that way, I think what they've done is really tricked people which way is north and which way is south. I did ask some people from Australia, how do they determine north? And they said they use the stars and the sun. So that would be like circular reasoning. But what do you guys think?
To be honest, I don't really get it, but I mean, either way, they still saw the sun for like 24 hours, right?
I mean, supposedly. I don't know. Did we get all the data to confirm or corroborate that to be the case? Because I felt like there was wasn't there like a missing hour or something out of the 24-hour footage? Or I mean, I could be mistaken, but
It's missing 4 hours out of Jaren's footage.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
So I don't think any of the flat earthers came back with 24-hour sun footage
or
not that
telemetry
they didn't.
data or GPS data.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I think it was fake, but I still think there's a type of 24-hour sun in Antarctica or a southwest sunset. Either way, I don't really care because I have plausible explanations for southern sun, southern stars. I'm pretty convinced on my explanation for the southern stars.
Do you want to share it?
Yeah, basically, the southern stars are parabolic reflections of the northern stars. So basically, you have a parabolic surface, probably the firmament. And people are like, "Oh, the stars aren't the same." And actually, a lot of them are. But first of all, a parabolic mirror, it's very hard to get a perfect reflection. So what we get is a skewed reflection. So not all the stars look the same because we got we got a reflection of Ursa Major in the south. There's a constellation in the same place that looks almost the same. It's just a bit different angle. You can look at it. I can even drop a video like breaking it down. But there's also 2 Orion's belts. Just one is a different name. And also the Southern Cross and Cassiopeia. They look pretty much the same when you take Cassiopeia and put it in a 3D grid, rotate it towards yourself. It turns into the Southern Cross. So yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that. That's cool. Is that the same thing as that demonstration I saw a while back where the guy has like the dome, like he made like a model of that phenomenon with like a dome and stuff?
And the different
You know what I'm
continents
talking about?
projection systems, or was it just a dome? Because I've seen like 5 different models of it.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, I don't know. Sorry.
You're probably thinking of Joe Hamvey.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, his is slightly different. I'm not sure
Okay.
exactly how his works, but yeah, there's like I think that his might be like that. I'm not sure exactly, but there's also here. I'll just drop a video summing it up because it has a bit of the other. It shows like 2 models in there.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm with you. I think there's explanations for sure.
Have you looked at Lindsay Harris?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's hard to understand at first, but then when I just started continuing to watch him, now I can understand him way better, and so it's
Mhm.
so I can understand what he's saying, what he's talking about, and it's coming together.
Yeah, his brain works really fast if you don't keep up with it.
Yeah.
Does anybody know if Lisbeth is still like active in the flat Earth community, or is she still doing what's that, Clubhouse?
Yeah, she hangs out in
Not sure.
Clubhouse.
She hangs
Who's
out with
that?
what?
In
She's
Clubhouse
one
with
of
Uh-huh.
the
like
flat
Linnell
earthers.
and Linnell and Jamal and all
Yeah.
the Clubhouse folks.
Uh-huh.
So Cassidy, are you happy you went? Would you go back? Are you ready to move? Like, what's the deal?
I didn't go. I was like runner up, I guess.
Oh, you didn't go.
Right.
Oh shit, my bad. I thought you
runner
went.
What the hell, die slow?
Nah.
Damn,
I
that's
thought
also
You went to
why don't you?
Antarctica? Wow. What do you mean runner up?
Like I applied for the golden ticket scam thing, and then like I was like the last one to get booted from the like I don't know, like
From the
I
running.
can't. Yeah. Like,
There's like a
I was-
competition, right? Like you had to put
yeah, it
in
was
your.
really weird. Yeah.
Did you have to like put in a video or something, or like and fill out like an application, right? Wasn't that or like?
He said email me proof that you've been a flat earther for 2 years and an explanation of why you think you should be picked for this golden ticket. And so I emailed him my reasons and my proof, and I got an email saying that I've been picked as a finalist, and I was stoked. And then he said that they were going to have a live stream to pick the winner, and I didn't know how many finalists there were. I thought maybe I was secretly the only finalist, to be honest, because I thought it was just going to be like a surprise, like I don't know. And then when we got on live stream, he like interviewed each one of us, and then ended up picking Lisbeth. And then actually, funny thing that I was like really hung up on for a while, and still am, was that Lisbeth's proof of being a flat earther was like not really proof. And
Same thing happened with Jonathan. He had
What was having a
terrible
flat chest
of
isn't
bladder.
proof.
huh?
What was the proof exactly?
My bad.
Her proof was screenshots of her watching like 1 or 2 videos of like people talking about flat Earth on YouTube, and that's it. I think.
That's horrible.
That's
So
Yeah.
not like engaging with
ridiculous.
anything.
Yeah, it wasn't proof at all. Like anyone can watch a video about anything. That doesn't prove that they've been what they believe. My
Yeah,
proof was
I watch like 10. I watch so many Glober videos. That means I'm a Glober.
yeah, exactly.
Wait,
So I was really
so
pissed about it, and I called out Will Duffy like on a live stream one time, and yeah, I'm still mad about it. And then
Well,
it
good for
turned
you.
out, yeah, thank you. And then it turned out that the golden ticket didn't even exist during the time of the picking the winner, because it was actually just a scam by that New Moon guy apparently, which I thought was really sloppy of Will, because he should have had the money in hand if he was going to host a competition.
So
Yeah, they
Cassidy,
should've-
what would?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead. But I was
I
gonna
was
say
just
they
gonna-
should have proved. They should have proved. You know how when you got to buy a house, you have to like prove like your funds. Like you have to send like a screenshot of like your bank account, like not like the numbers on your bank account, but just like how much is in there, like prove it. I feel like they should have done some shit like that. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, what would be like, what was is an example of something you would consider a proof, or something that you used as a proof when you?
Yeah, my proof was screenshots of me talking about being a flat earther from like years ago, and people referring to me as a flat earther. So I mean, it's hard to prove that somebody believes anything, right? But I mean,
so it wasn't trying to like present evidence for the flat earth. It was more of presenting evidence that you are a flat earther.
yeah, that's what he asked for. Prove, and that was one of his only requirements to win the golden ticket, and then the rest would be judged on like, what's your story, what do you think qualifies you to go on this trip, right? And I think he liked me because I had like kind of a sob story, right? And then he picked Elizabeth because she was like really active in Clubhouse and like does stuff with this like NASA friend apparently.
Globe propaganda.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I don't know.
they probably already had their people picked, and they just
Right.
had to make it look more like, oh, we're giving everyone a chance, because that's a bit obvious. You had way more proof.
Absolutely. I don't think that she qualified, and that was his own rules for,
No true
Who is the
scholarship
NASA
policy
friend?
in action.
Like if somebody asked me to prove that I believe Bigfoot is real, or that I have prove that I have a good case and could believe Bigfoot was real, and I just show a picture of me in a Bigfoot costume, like,
yeah.
Yeah, but you're going. It's more than that. It's more than that. Why the Earth is a globe?
we're not
You know-
talking about whether it's a globe or not.
Right.
Don't just jump in the
Robert debating him. Ignore Robert. I debated him.
Calm down,
Wait.
guys.
Ignore Robert. I debated him countless times. I have recordings of him getting humiliated, then turning around and saying that I lost. So
wait,
All right,
like,
let's
he
not-
had no
let's-
answer to many of my questions. Then he said,
let's
"You
not-
lost."
Let's not let him disrupt the convo. We had a good convo going. Robert, we'll take you off mute in a little bit. We're just trying to hash some stuff up with Cassidy. She's
yeah, we weren't even good.
Go ahead, Cassidy.
We weren't even talking about that, dude.
I'm gonna try to find those pictures of Lisbeth's proofs, and it was really interesting because she came into this server, and we all like grilled her basically on like her legitimacy. We were all kind of sus about like who this girl is because we don't know her, and she, we're all conspiracy theorists kind of, and I think she got like a lot of people in here might remember, but she got her feelings hurt or something and went back to Clubhouse and told them that we were being mean, and like then her friends came into the server and like started a cat fight and like accused us of being bad faith, and like I don't know, do you guys remember?
I remember.
Yeah. That's when she sent what she sent to Will as her proof, and I called her out on it eventually, like told her proof sucks, like I don't know, it was weird.
How many months would you say she was around before? So I hadn't been paying much attention, but from what I heard, she'd only been around for maybe a month or so before they had the competition and all that stuff. But do you remember her being around at all before, or was it
No,
like?
I mean, she was never in the Discord server. She was in Clubhouse, and apparently she had been doing it for a few months or something, or like a year or something. I don't remember, but she said for a while she was like secret flat earther with her friend Kelsey, and then they started the Clubhouse thing. So yeah, it kind of lined up with the timeline of like Will deciding the final experiment or announcing the final experiment. I think it was like, it seemed like maybe she started building up her reputation in Clubhouse around then.
Has she been in this server? Does anybody know? This Elizabeth?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
I think she was in one.
Well, so okay, Mike, let me refine the question. Has she been back since the FTE event?
Not an EA.
Not that I've seen.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, I think she's legit. I just think she was chosen because she didn't have good arguments, and Will saw a weak target.
Yeah, I'd like to think that.
Really, you'd like to think that?
I
They
mean,
brought Witsit and Jaren, the two strongest flat earthers. Why would they need to bring a weak one?
that's true.
Because in terms of the qualifications for the golden ticket,
Why do you need
he could have easily picked. Hold on, let me finish. He could have easily
Yeah.
picked Brian Leakey. Could have easily
Mhm.
picked Cassidy. Could have easily picked anybody else that was definitely
Oh,
more involved. But
you know
but he
what?
wanted he wanted someone that he could destroy.
I forgot he also
Bran predicted that. Sorry, go ahead.
he also claimed that part of the reason why he picked her was because he had an overwhelming inflow of like people contacting him to pick her, and I was like, dude, I could have done the same thing, but I wanted to follow the rules, right? Like,
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And who are
Yeah.
those people? Or was it like
they were all her
Patty?
clubhouse club.
Yeah, probably all the people that like half of the people that flipped along with Jaren, right? Like I don't know.
Nah.
Yeah, exactly.
Did he post his email for people to do that with? Like, was that one of the stipulations to try and get on board? Like,
no, it was in chat.
Oh, this was just something that happened in chat while he was there. Is that
It
right?
was in chat, or I think it was emails. Maybe it was a chat too. I don't.
It was
I
a
don't
YouTube
know.
chat when it was all like live and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, it's like I think Elizabeth is true to who she says she is, but I don't think she has any malicious intent. We actually created helped her get on Discord, like the Flat Earth Gang Discord. She still comes in the Ether cause, but she's just in her own lane, like with other different people.
I just
And
think that she wasn't a
go
flat
ahead.
earther for 2 years, and she lied, and she like that was kind of cheap of her, like, and she couldn't prove that she was a flat earther. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like,
how does one
unfair.
prove that?
Right, but like
the same way Cassidy
it
proved
didn't.
it. She has
Yeah,
screenshots of people talking to her, her saying she's a flat earther, maybe Facebook posts, maybe whatever. There's a lot of ways to prove it. So anybody can take a screenshot of a video that was watched on, like
for a
I
couple
don't know.
minutes. Not even a flat Earth video. It was just a Joe Rogan video, like talking about somebody trying to like diss on flat Earth. It was like an anti.
What? It was Joe Rogan? What the fuck? How
Yeah,
does
I'm
that
trying to
count for
pull.
anything?
I'm trying to pull up these videos. I mean, these screenshots. So I just think it's cheap, and then it just doesn't seem like she's been a flat earther for that long. I've been a flat earther for 10 years almost.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair, but like, why would Will Duffy ever be fair?
Right, exactly. It's not really her fault necessarily. It's Will Duffy, and I called him out. So
It's Will Duffy, dude.
yeah,
I did a deep dive on Will Duffy, and I'm telling you, like, that whole story of like, well, this all started 3 years ago, and it started when this person came to my church, and I couldn't ignore the conversation. That's all bullshit. The dude was a general manager for Bob Enyart. Bob Enyart is one of the OG anti-flat earthers who has had interviews with Danny Faulkner. Who else? Yet a bunch of other prominent anti-flat earthers, right? And he's a creationist, but he thinks that the flat Earth is a psyop, etc. Right? But he's been in the conversation for at least 15 years.
He's
at
such
least.
a
What about
liar.
the
He's just a
what about
liar.
the
He just did this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I can wait.
No, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. What do you guys think about the allegations brought forth about Will Duffy? I think there was like 10 charges of fraud, financial fraud. That
Yeah,
makes
that's
him.
all.
If that is,
Yeah.
was that verified?
Yeah. He completely changed his company names, dissolved it. He had like 3 different LLCs that were under investigation.
Can anybody find out if he's paid those off? Because I know there was a few fines, like $25,000 here, $10,000 there. Like, if those have been paid off by now, since it was like 8 months ago that people were like looking that stuff up, that would be kind of crazy as like kind of proof he's got some funds coming in somewhere from TFE for him to be able to pay all that shit off.
Or from the government to say to use that as leverage against them. Hey, we'll wipe all your debts clear, but you got to be part of this operation.
Exactly.
That could it's not even that high. I mean, I think he was funded by, the Bob Enyart gang and the Denver, Colorado Bible Society.
Yeah, I mean, 10 grand, 25 grand here and there. Like,
Nothing.
he could have easily paid that off without going to and paying for a bunch of people to go to Antarctica. Like, why wouldn't he be using that money to pay off his debt? Like, unless, I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there you go, Cassidy. Those screenshots. I mean, all that lines up, right? Because I mean, even for me, like when I first was coming into Flat Earth, like in 2020, like I didn't know there was Discord servers and stuff like that. And I watched a couple Eric Dubay videos, and like it just kind of hit me, right? Like it just dawned on me, and I never felt the need to like reprove it or go deeper, other than going deeper into.
It's not about proving it. She didn't leave a comment on a YouTube video that would have counted as proof. I mean, anything anything to prove.
Why does that matter?
Because
Because it
if you
shows
don't
what she
see-
believes, not what she's seen.
if you can't tell the difference between somebody posting a screenshot of a Joe Rogan video they watched, which wasn't even 2 years prior, actually, if you looked at the date, it wasn't even 2 years. And then versus somebody who's actually having conversations, making public posts, like coming out publicly to people, whether it's in YouTube chats or YouTube comments or Facebook or whatever it is.
Public, like I don't get what
Yeah,
you mean.
she created the Clubhouse more
You know
than
when
A
she
year
created it?
prior, maybe a year, maybe a year prior.
So isn't that
Not 2
isn't that having
that's not-
conversations in a public
That's
forum?
That's not
2
2
years.
years.
Yeah, are you not listening, bro? Like, are you like Team Elizabeth? You part of her team? You work for her? Like, she paid you to come in here or something? Like, what's your deal, bro?
No, it's called I actually talked to her, and she's a real human being, and she's
Okay, I
actually
actually talked
legitimate.
to Witsit. So what? Does that mean that you talked to somebody so you know that they couldn't possibly lie or get paid off by the government? Like, really? Or not even the
No,
government?
I'm
Get paid
not-
off
I'm not-
by anybody, really? I mean, shit. You give him $250 for telemetry data, and I'm sure he'll lie about whatever, and then be like, oh, sorry, I'm not giving you the data.
But it's like, so what? They created a Flat Earth gang 1 year instead of
Dude,
2
the
years.
point is that they said if you can prove you've been a flat earther for 2 years, blah blah blah
Oh,
blah. So
the
that was the
criteria
whole.
was-
Yeah, that was
right,
the
yeah.
criteria.
Yeah.
And who set that criteria? Who set that
Will
criteria
Duffy.
again? Okay, so are we gonna really hold him to that standard, or did he just look for someone weak to destroy?
Why are you defending her? I don't
God.
understand what
I'm
your
not.
deal is. You
I'm not
are.
defen-
You're like, what does it matter 2 years? Because that was
I'm-
the criteria. That's the whole point of like. Are you seriously?
Are we supposed to let
my
it
point-
slide just because Will Duffy isn't trustworthy? We're just going to be like, oh, he's not trustworthy. What did you expect? It's like, dude, like all of these reasons are why he's untrustworthy and why it's not fair. It
He
wasn't a
even
fair
says-
thing.
he
He used
says
all
it's
of
okay
us
to
flat
lie.
earthers. He
Yeah.
used us and humiliated us.
Yeah.
Like I contributed to his YouTube. Like that's not cool with me.
Yeah, it's not. The dude's a snake.
Yeah.
100% snake. He's just doing this to make money. He's a grifter.
Then why
Right,
would-
and I
then
knew
why
that
would you
getting
defend?
into it, but I was like,
Because
fuck it,
Elizabeth
I'm
is
fine.
not the enemy. She's a legit person.
Nobody's
Like, you can
saying
go
she
into
is.
that.
All she
Nobody's
said
mad
was-
at her.
Yeah, she just said it's not fair that the chick that didn't prove shit for 2 years, and you're like saying, oh no, it was legit. She was.
I
she
didn't
was
say
that.
it was legit. You're
You
putting
did-
words in my mouth.
Okay, just anybody wants to rewind and listen to what he said and tell
Yeah,
me.
I
if
said
I'm
you're
wrong.
basically trusting Will Duffy to his word and his criteria. He's a liar. He can literally change the rules as he goes because he thinks it's actually okay to do. He said it in a sermon.
Right, but so we're just not supposed to talk about it. We're just supposed to be like, oh,
No,
well, it's my
it's
fault.
not that. No, it's just
Okay,
like you're saying
then-
it's not fair. Yeah, it's not fair to Brian Leakey either.
Yeah, I know. I think he
It's not
should
fair
have
to a
been
lot of
kicked.
people.
I thought, but Brian Lincoln's not a female. I thought the whole point was to bring in a chick or something. I thought it was a female thing. No,
Right, and
I
he
didn't know
used all
that.
of these
I mean,
people.
unless you think
All right,
Brian
so
Lincoln
why
is
would
really.
why
posing.
would we take two male flat earthers that are on top of the game, right? And then when we go to the female, we just take somebody that just doesn't know anything.
It's
Because
not. It wasn't our
they-
decision.
Yeah, because if we didn't bring two at the top, that would have been a red flag for everybody.
No, it's not that. The whole thing was basically a media op and just basically an operation to get people divided in the community itself, right? There's a bunch of people saying, "Oh, TFE is fake, TFE is real." You know, the globe. That means now there's a globe, and now there's this dual pole model, and now, or we can think about concave, like, and it just split up the entire community. Job well done, way to go, it worked. Like that was the goal, you guys. I don't know if you guys
I
see
think
that.
we know that. I think the real ones know that.
Yeah. So I mean, where do we go from here? Is the
Well,
question.
yeah, I mean, we're just talking about what happened. It's been a while. It's just, we're just reminiscing.
Yeah, maybe you weren't listening. A bunch of people asked her a bunch of questions, and she was just answering what happened because she hasn't been around.
And
No, I was listening.
Didn't Lisbeth like kind of flip? Like I've heard that she's like partially flipped, or now she's like on the fence ish, or she thinks it could be a globe or something. I don't really know. I don't like know her exact position, but if she's like, kind of in the middle or whatever, or somehow somewhat flipping, and then Jaren flipped, and then Witsit like may not even end up being in the documentary from what I've heard. So it's like now they're gonna have like Jaren full flip. Lisbeth is like maybe partial flip. Witsit might not be in it at all. So they're gonna, I don't know what, like when that documentary is coming out, but is that going to be like the end result of what goes to the public? Is this documentary that'll be like, oh, look, these flat earthers went and they all flipped and realized it's a globe kind of thing? Is that what it's building towards? And then Lisbeth being that one who is kind of the one in the middle. Because I guess the Jonathan guy, like the filmmaker guy, I mean, he's the one who came in to do the film. So I know like Witsit was saying he thought he was a real flat earther, but I don't have any reason to think he is or isn't really. I don't really know much about him, but I've already heard that he's like either on the fence or flipping too. So they now have, and then Witsit wasn't in the trailer at all for the documentary because he's the only one that went that like for sure is not flipping, or at least, you know, from everything he said, he's not. So if they just kick him out or whatever, don't even have him in the documentary, and they can move forward with potentially a documentary that makes it look like, oh, we took flat earthers to Antarctica and proved them all wrong. And then of course, Jaron.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They were counting on that, right? The more you have, let's say if you have 3, if you can get 2 to flip or 1 to flip, you work with the one that flips. So I'm sure that was part of the strategy.
I feel
I
like
bet you
it's like
Patty.
the Netflix documentary all over again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you
was
gotta
just gonna say.
right.
I bet
Like you gotta
Patty.
think about 10. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
No, I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if Patty dressed up in some thermal gear and acted like she was fucking there, like it was in the documentary. All of a sudden, Patty's like, "Yeah, I flipped too." Like I don't know, but the people from the Netflix documentary just all of a sudden show up in the movie. You know?
I mean, you got to think about the rollout, man. You know, obviously, I wasn't. You know, I haven't been a part of it since 2014. But if you just go back to the history of like when Flat Earth exploded on the scene again, right, through Eric Dubé and all that stuff, you know, it could easily just have been a 10-year plan.
Well, and then Patty was gone for the past 5 years, and then just all of a sudden, her and that other guy, I forget his name, that did the FE conferences.
Robbie
Davidson. Yeah, her and him. So Patty and Robbie, who've been gone for 5 years, they happen to come back right when TFE pops off just to flip. Like, yeah, that's not suspect.
So, like, what was the point of rolling out Flat Earth to begin with?
I don't necessarily think they rolled it out. But that's a whole conversation.
They did. I think the secret
Taking
is
back
too big to
your.
contain.
You're breaking up.
You're breaking up a bit.
Maybe try again in a second. Well, I mean, there's a couple. I mean, I don't know if we're going to shift into that. Whether it was.
I'm in the forest.
I mean, well, it's possible that it came up organically, and then they did a whole co-op rollout. You know,
I was just saying. I think.
Oh, taking back your robot and super hard. I would reconnect. Well, the thing is, like, you remember the Robert Sugenis and Witsit? Was it 2-on-2? Not 2-on-2, but it was on Tim Pool. Remember that one?
Yep.
And then what Witsit was talking about, how like Robert Sugenis basically felt as though Flat Earth was rolled out around the same exact time, which it was. If you look back, it was rolled out around the exact same time that The Principal came out, his movie. Right? It got completely overshadowed, and The Principal would have wrecked heliocentrism on its face, right? And brought back the idea of, you know, actual tangible physics.
I mean, that's an interesting correlation. There's also like the very first 24-hour sun footage from Antarctica, you know, alleged, ever claimed to exist, came out in 2014. The same year.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh, see?
Meaning there was never footage in the 1990s, the 80s, 70s, no actual footage of a 24-hour sun claimed to be until 2014. You know, Anthony Powell and Robert Schwartz, those two guys started. I think Anthony Powell was the first one in 14. Yeah, and now there was like, you know, claimed like pictures of the sun in the south. Like, I mean, I think in Congress there's one that's like in like 1914 or something. But it's not even the sun. It's just like this. It's like the sun behind some clouds, and they claim that was the southern sun. But that was like the first one. And I guess there's maybe some other pictures that were claimed, but I'm talking like video, the first actual like video, 2014, right when. Flat Earth, and then those few like sketchy videos in those first years, and then it went along with that whole like no 24-hour sun. Why would they fake it if it was real? You know, because those footages at the beginning, whether people think they were fake or not, they were not like a consistent series of frames. You know, you need frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, and they were cut, and they were, you know, at the minimum they were cut, and they were not consistent, and then that set people off like, why would they fake it if it was real? You know, so yeah, there's a lot of interesting.
Who kept pushing the AE map as a model? The AE map is a map. It's not a model. It's a projection of the graticule or the spherical coordinate system, which is equivalent to the globe. But people have, you know, put that above everything. It's like, yeah, that's the flat Earth map. And certain people were basically promoting it, right? Like Jaron and other content creators that have just put it on this giant pedestal, only to and basically saying, oh, well, if we were able to go to the south, and that would prove, you know, that would prove we're on a ball or not. And just basically propped up this whole media narrative that has built up over years, get a bunch of people to basically subscribe to a map, right? That was the globe itself. You know what I mean? Well, it's not the globe itself, but it's the spherical coordinate system itself. It's still longitude and latitude, right? And
yeah, it happens to be the same one.
Down.
Right, and it happens to be the same one they use as their little gang sign for their United Nations logo.
For the United Nations, yep.
And also the World Health Organization, they put their snake and staff on front of the AE map for the WHO. Yeah. And people used to say, Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. People used to say, "Oh, truth in plain sight." See, they're putting the real map right there. But if you actually see the AE map as like a deception 2.0, it would be the flat earther thing that they would link to that as a psyop. You know, not saying the Earth isn't planar and stationary. I'm just saying like to link that term, that map, United Nations logo, all of that as like the backup deception to the globe.
Yep.
What do you guys think of Bruce McGuire's theory on like potential theory? He doesn't say it's true, but that the powers that be push forward the like the worst debaters to defend the globe and the most dishonest just to seed division. What do you guys think about that? Do you hear?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who Bruce McGuire is, but that sentiment you just laid out.
It was Mind Shock.
Oh, Mind Shock?
Yeah.
No.
He breaks down like Craig from Flight the Flat Earth, his breakdown of him and McToon and his theories on them. Man, just for entertainment value.
I'm gonna watch it.
I love
I'm gonna
those
watch
guys.
it.
I love those guys.
I was gonna say there was one thing though that was interesting that I think it was Bev that was telling me about, like, how do you know about all of these different stats and then figures and stuff about Earth? Like, I guarantee you learned more about the heliocentric model from flat earthers than anywhere else. Like, it's true. Like, you wouldn't know anything like that. Just very interesting.
That's like my ex-girlfriend. She didn't know that much about women until she met me. You know what I mean?
Well, but I was just thinking the way he was putting it, it kind of struck a nerve where it's just like, yeah, it's weird. It's almost like you get sucked into what the actual worldview is in order to disprove it, and by doing so, you learn more about it at the same time, right? I don't know what purpose that would be.
It's a way to get people more on the globe by learning more about it or something, and then if they flip, they'll be like, "No, now I know." Is that what you're saying? Like that idea?
Yeah, kind of like that. Right?
Yeah,
it's like almost like
so few have flipped though. It seems like, even after the TFE thing, it seems like less than 2%, maybe 3%. I mean, am I wrong on that? I don't know. When MC Toon, he wanted to do an event here, and I was reluctantly say okay, even though his character. So he's done a few where he's come here, and one time he was here, and I asked him like, how many. It was after the TFE thing. I was like, what percentage of the community do you think is flipped? And I said, what, you think like 3 to 4% at the most? And he pretty much agreed. He's like, yeah. So I mean, it's not like any significant percent has even flipped from the TFE thing. So,
hey, next time McToon wants to do an event on your channel, tell him under only one guideline that he has to debate with me for 10 minutes.
I'm sure you could go on a show. He's always looking for people to clown on.
I'm banned from the show permanently.
Same here. Especially when he banned me right after his own mods agreed with me that the sun changes angular size. Right after that, banned. And just before that, when he invited me to his show to show me the first video of Earth from space, which was actually the same video from A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon, the very next day that video went private.
Yeah, and there was those like LinkedIn pages that people had found that showed his face with like a different name, and it was saying that he was like, or his biography said that he was like he worked for like the Canadian Intelligence Agency or all that stuff. I mean, that's not really doxing because it's kind of a public page, but I don't know. It's got his face on it. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, did you see the one where he's at a Trump rally?
Yeah, and then that I didn't really know what to make of those things. I mean, I saw people posting them.
Should ask him. Be like, yo, you're a Trump supporter?
There's like 2 different names that are now associated with him that are not Michael Toon or whatever. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's using a fake name anyways, but he tells people that's his name. And then now there's this thing that he's a Canadian Intelligence, and then these other names that were popped up. And these are like public pages. I mean, it's not really like anything doxing really. These are just public things people found as far as I know. But
yeah, it was LinkedIn or something.
Yeah.
Someone should post the website. I would, but I'm driving right now. But post the website that has all of it on it. I think it was LinkedIn and some other stuff, but not like somebody couldn't make a LinkedIn page and like
It's so easy to make a LinkedIn page though.
That's
yeah,
true. Yeah.
Super easy.
Be trolling. Someone could be doing that. But I mean,
ask McToon where he got the video of the little kid shackled in his basement.
All right.
I don't know. Hey, Beast,
hold on. That picture though was real of him and his wife and daughter at a Trump thing. That one was actually legit, apparently. So, but yeah, the LinkedIn stuff could all be whatever. But carry on.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Gio?
Well, I mean, if you guys want to, I was gonna say like from before, like, were you saying like the idea that? All right, so I mean, this is all just speculation, just kind of in the idea realm, but like that whether the beginning like stationary planar flat Earth, like whether that came up organically, and then the controllers were like, hey, we gotta co-opt this and try to shut it down, whether it's that or whether it was planned. But are you saying the idea, or were you kind of discussing around the idea that there is some way that they would push flat Earth with that flat Earth map, the no 24-hour sun, and try to loop people like, this is what it really is, and there definitely would not be a 24-hour sun, as like flat Earth, as it were. And then you get into like that Gleason's map and what the root of that, what the root of that is. But are you suggesting like maybe the general idea that like they did push that as like a package and then let it run for 10 years? And then they're trying now to be like, boom, they do the TFE thing, no 24, or that there is a 24-hour sun, to then try to eliminate all, at least this would be their agenda. I'm saying, is this what you were kind of dancing around the idea of, is that they would then try to crush all of flat Earth, debunk all of it, and then get everyone back on the globe for going into 2030 kind of thing? Is that in the
No,
realm
I
of
don't
it?
even think that. Like, some people will flip. I doubt it though, because there's not too many people that will flip. But what I think it did was it provided something to rail against for the space communities. Right, so it increased funding. Everyone wanted to donate. Everyone wanted to, you know what I mean. It basically revamped. The public. It revamped the public into getting back into space, right? Like into space arguments and why we should go to space and look at all these flat earthers over here. I can't believe there's still flat earthers over here. We should have more space funding, and you know what I mean. It basically caused. It was something to rail against, right? Like, why space travel is so important, why we need to have these programs, like why, right? Like, look at these people. They don't think that we're able to do these things. Like, we need more funding. We need to be able to show these people. Like, I just think
Guys,
it's like a whole different thing. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
iStar said that List did flip.
Yeah, I don't
And-
trust anything that he says.
Right.
He is over there a lot, though.
I did hear that, though.
He trolls that channel too, I think. I've heard so. But I've heard that, I've heard people say she did flip, and then I've heard other people say that she's just kind of like on the fence, and she's like somewhat more considering the globe, but she's not sure. That's what I've heard, but I haven't heard anything further, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see the picture I put? I thought it was weird how her picture for TFE was like an AI photo of her in Antarctica with the flag of Antarctica, the globe Antarctica, instead of like the flat Earth version.
I don't know.
Oh, you like the avatar? Or the
Yeah.
profile pic thing?
I posted it. I'll show it again.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's got. Although there are planar Earth models that do have Antarctica as a continent, like the dual pole, like meaning that's basically that's what's under the South Pole rotation, whereas the North Pole is under Polaris.
Did you say it was like an edited picture though? Like it was like is it an AI picture or something?
It's an AI. It's an AI picture. I just posted it again. It says Flat Earth Gang, and she's like holding this flag, but it has like Antarctica on it.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I remember I tagged you in there, Russ. That's where she posted it. Yeah, I remember that when it came out. I remember thinking like, wow, she's already got this. Like, I guess it's easy to make stuff in AI though.
Yeah, how do you make Antarctica? Like, what would you do to make Antarctica?
You just
Like,
don't put
prompt
it on there. You just don't. Or you put the Gleason map on it or something.
You know what they say? They say
guess.
Antarctica may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
Yeah. So the thing, my position now, Gio, is like thinking about like fallacious arguments, right? To make a claim to the entirety of creation without knowing all of it and its constituent parts is fallacious, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, like a part of the whole fallacy kind of thing, perhaps.
Yeah.
But there's also the logic that like if water isn't curving locally at all, even the way it should on a globe, then the whole thing would have that. I would say kind of foundationally planar geometry, level water and land coming up. But
yeah, we use like water levels, right? Spirit levels, etc. But using like a water level, right? Why is that? Why are we able to do that? You know what I mean? Like, why does water have its, properties behave like that, where you can actually reference it as like a horizontal plane of reference, when you're doing local ground measurements or, to measure elevation changes and stuff. But regardless, the thing that hit me the most was the idea that you literally only can know what you can measure in reality, but only locally. That's it. Anywhere, if you try to take it anywhere else, it's like you're assuming, like you're just basically being fallacious at that point. In reality, but only locally. That's it. Anywhere, if you try to take it anywhere else, it's like you're assuming, like you're just basically being fallacious at that point.
Well, I hear you without more money and tools and resources, because if you have more resources, you could like measure the distances in the oceans or do all kinds of other stuff or go up at high altitude, like what the military has. But I mean, yeah, for like civilians, I was talking yesterday, like, it's like, like a hard drive, like we were talking about like the idea of like you have a hard drive disk and then you have partitions of that hard drive. We were actually talking about the idea of like the creator or God kind of thing. And then
I remember that.
Like we are all partitions of the hard drive, like we're all some section of the larger thing. But even outside of that whole analogy to like a creator or the source of consciousness and all that, more I was just thinking of it now, like in terms of the Earth. Like if the Earth is, I'm not saying it's a disc, like shaped like a disc. I'm just saying in that analogy, we've all only experienced one little partition of the whole Earth. Even if you've traveled to a few places, and then what can you measure in your local region? And that goes for globe Earth believers too. Same with
100%.
them. Same with
They're
them.
the same. Yeah.
Right. They're just attaching their worldview and belief system to what they think other men have done or what they think governments have taken pictures or been to space. They're just doing a belief story. And I know some of them would debate that and argue it, and all that. But yeah, I mean, that's true. Without more tools and resources to get more measurements and tests and things that could be done that would reveal more. That's what the government claims they do have. They have all the money tests. They're the ones claiming they're going to space or whatever. So they're putting forth a story, but are they being deceptive, obviously? And then
well, the arguments that the globe side makes, right? Every single one is affirming the consequent fallacy or begging the question fallacy.
Yeah, if they had any actual measurements of curvature or motion, that would be a different thing, but they don't. I mean, I don't think they do. Some think they do, I guess, though, because there's debates and arguments in all these areas, but
yeah, when you say a statement like it's locally flat everywhere, that's literally the globe position. Yeah, it's locally flat everywhere.
It wouldn't be though. I mean, water should curve at 8 inches per mile. So in 1 mile, it should curve 8 inches. That's not really flat. That's curved.
I know. I'm just saying that statement alone, though, is just like already like you lost. If you can only measure locally, right, and in reality you can only measure it to be flat or a horizontal plane of reference, right? Then that's it. Game over, right? It's not a globe.
Well, yeah, and then you have plane surveying, which is done within 100 square miles. Which within 100 square miles, depending on what shape you do the 100 square miles, you absolutely should be able to measure a curvature within 100 square miles. And they use plane surveying for all that. So they even claim none of that uses curve of the Earth. It's all plane surveying. And then beyond that is when you get to geodetic, which they use, it's all calculations. There's no actual
all calculations.
Concrete. Yeah, there's no actual concrete. It's all calculated. There's no actual measurements of. So yeah, that's part of how the deception is pulled off, in my viewpoint, of how they separate the surveying and how that's all between the local. And that's the only way they could have is if the way we see as well, the way the human eye works in a local region, how they converted the sky into the globe model. And yeah.
Yeah,
Can I ask Daiso something really quick? I know Daiso had some questions that he wanted to ask Cassidy in case she has to like take off or do something. Was there anything else that you wanted to ask her? Or you did? I don't know.
I felt like there was, but I totally spaced on it. It's been a while and I forgot. My bad.
Thanks though.
Well, I guess I'll ask, like, Cassidy, did Duffy ever follow up with you, or did you ever talk to him again, or was that it, or?
It was just he sent me an email afterwards and said he really wanted to pick me and blah blah blah. And then the last interaction we had was me calling him out on that server that one time.
Was that in Clubhouse or was that in someone else's server?
I don't know what it was on. Does anyone know?
I mean, Duffy came in here once. He messaged me. I didn't even know if it was his real account, but he said, "Hey, I'd like to come there," and it was him. It was him. So he did come here one time. But I don't know if it was here.
I don't know where it was, but Jaren reached out to me after I lost or whatever, and said that he really wanted me to win and that like I was the hotter one, and like we had a lot of conversations after that, and we kind of became like friends a little bit. And to be honest, he was like flirty. But then I stopped replying to him because he wanted me to like give him feedback on this relationship podcast, and like I just was like overwhelmed and just like stopped replying to him. And I had told him like no hate for flipping, even though I'm like bummed. I still wanted to respect his like journey, but then he like must have unfriended me or something because our messages aren't there anymore.
Dude, he was probably bootier because you stopped responding. Like you were the one that stopped responding, so his ego got bruised or something.
Yeah, it wasn't personal though. Like I just do that. Like I just stop responding to people. I stop engaging sometimes just because life gets crazy. But then I'll follow up like later.
Yo, Cassidy, do you have a YouTube or something, or like?
No.
Okay.
And by the way, not that I want the convo to go this direction because it's kind of like whatever, but I don't want to. Well, I mean, Jaren was public about it on his Telegram, but. I mean, I guess he has his wife or whatever, but I don't know if they have an open relationship or something. But apparently he got caught, like he was sending pictures of his genitalia to women, and then people like shared it and called him out because he was on his own Telegram, being like admitting that that was a thing. So there's like a whole scandal where, and it is like somewhat public. It was on Jaren's Telegram, so I'm not really like whatever. But,
I mean, he sent me pictures of himself, not like explicit, but like he was definitely flirting with me.
So he didn't send you any unsolicited dick pics.
No.
That's good. Do you remember Gio in 2016? Or no, it was probably 2019 or whenever, that conference where like he found out she was cheating with his best friend, and he was all upset at the conference about it. She didn't come with him to the conference, and then like he did a live stream about it. It was like a very public, like, you know, like he aired out his whole shit to everybody back then. And that's around the same time she got pregnant. So this whole time I've been thinking, hey, maybe it's not even his kid. I don't know.
Well, that
I
would
bet
be,
you get some stairs.
that would be wild if the kid thing.
But apparently, from what I've heard, is
Hey, are you vaccinated or do you smell bad?
Was that a joke? I don't know. I think Rusty was breaking.
I'm reading. I'm
got
reading
like an
quotes.
open relationship.
Oh, well, I mean, the only thing, Rustin, my response to that, I do remember when, maybe 2018, 19 is my memory. I don't actually know anything about the conference part, like if she didn't go because of that. I do remember, though, that Jaren, like there was this whole scandal where, his wife had cheated on him with like his best friend or something. But the thing is, he had done a whole live stream about it, apparently, where he was like just tell all, and they were, everything, but he like took it down. And I never saw it, like, because I didn't really follow like everyone at Jaren's streams. So that's like all
Send you some
I
stuff, Gio,
know
if you
about it
want.
is that I never really like saw that stream. But I did hear about that, and then if it was linked to the conference, if it was around that timing, that's kind of.
Well, Gio.
Yeah, there was a bunch of memes. What's up, D-Skills?
No, go ahead. My bad. We talked at the same time. You're good.
No, it's cool. Well, just because he was like asking me something about it. But yeah, I did see that stream, and I did remember a bunch of memes going around because he looked like abnormally sad and like upset, obviously, for justifiable reasons at the conference. That I think it was 2018 or 2019. I don't remember which year, but it was right around the same time that like, whatever. Anyways, so it was right after that like he did the stream and was like, yeah, I was upset, visually upset. Like you guys were right to call that out because it was, like I found out that my wife is cheating on me and blah, 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 blah. And so, I mean, not to justify him like going around hitting on chicks online, but like since then, maybe they decided to do like open relationship or something because obviously he didn't break up with her. So, who knows, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know either. And I don't really like to pry into people's personal life. I mean, he said all that stuff on Telegram. During the TFE thing, I had popped over to his Telegram and I just was skimming through it. I didn't even care enough to like get into every detail, but it was like a whole scandal thing where I guess that guy, Flat Earth or Conspiracy Music Guru, like that guy had like someone I think maybe sent him the pics or whatever, and then he released it. And then so Jaren was all upset at him, was like, oh, you think the guy's your friend? And, he's releasing pictures of me. I don't know. It was something linked to all that, but it's probably still on his Telegram unless he deleted it. It's on that one, like Gerants, it's called, like Gerants, like Gerants. Might even still be on there, but.
Hey, I just want to know one thing. How come there was no footprints in the TFE? Nobody left any footprints in the snow anywhere. I'm just wondering.
Not even the topic, but it's because compressed ice.
But wasn't it warmer when the sun's out 24/7? Why would the ground be colder than when they left the original footprints? It don't make sense.
Because it was fake and gay, that's why.
I don't know. Maybe the former, not the latter, except for Jaren.
But I've actually rusted, like if someone paid for your trip or if you paid for it yourself and you went and you saw the 24-hour sun and you were able to do everything you could do to verify it would you say there is one there, or would you say that it was a fake sun or something else?
I couldn't say without going first. I mean, if I did really see one, obviously I would be truthful about what I saw,
Unless you were paid off or threatened.
Yeah, and everyone in here would be talking shit about you in the same manner you guys are talking about the other one. Guaranteed.
And it would be totally justifiable in my mind. I wouldn't even hate on it. I'd be like, yeah, word, you're a real truther for not just going with the crowd on this one.
Ironic.
I'm just saying though. Nobody should be offended by that.
Well, everyone's free to have.
I mean, dude, the footprint thing is easy though. Like that, you were joking with that, right?
No, I'm serious, bro. Nobody ever left any visible footprints, although there was like hundreds of footprints already there.
Yikes.
Yeah, because I don't know if I don't know.
And then what? And then the lack of breath. There's just so many anomalies, bro.
Yikes. I don't want to get into it.
I like the football sun was a big one for me. I'm like, why is the sun turning into a football? Why is there a 90-degree angle in the sky when the line for the camera was like 30 feet to the right of where the line was? So that couldn't have been the seam in the stitching or whatever, like people like to claim it was. Just go look it up for yourself. Anybody who is curious.
So, what model of reality are you judging this or comparing this to? Obviously, not the globe. So, what you see compared to what?
Well, it's just about, this has nothing to do with model. This is just describing the footage, if it's real or not.
Well, tell me
but-
this: would you
yeah,
guys
but
would you guys believe it if Witsit hadn't gone? If Witsit didn't go, would you guys believe it? If it was just the word of like Mattoon and Duffy and them and their footage, would you guys believe it?
Well, I did a pretty
Yes,
deep dive
I
into
would.
looking at all the videos I could find from Union Glacier before they went, and
Yeah.
I was even saying on this live stream, I thought just evidence, like not what my viewpoint is, but just evidence. I was already for myself, like in terms of video evidence, I was ranking about 7.5 out of 10 or so, before they even went, and then them going added, raised the, and that's just you could say that's just my subjective anecdotal.
I was there with you when you were doing that, though. That was crazy. Like, went on a huge deep dive on Union Glacier 24-hour sun videos, and then there was that one from like 2023 that had like 100 or something views. Was it skydiving one? And then you had like the writings of like the Zetetic astrologers or whatever talking about a 24-hour sun. Then you have Gleason in his journals talking about a 24-hour sun. There's like
It's just the whole thing is like the Nathan Thompson chicken suit thing, bro. Like they set a world record the day Nathan Thompson shows up and it proves flat Earth, but then it's just a hoax. You know what I mean? It's like, why, if that shit was legit, they would not even need to think about bringing these flat earthers there. They would just have to go. It would have already had the footage. Like, why? The whole thing is, why bring the flat earthers there? Oh, so you can make a video later, like a mockumentary. You know what I mean? That's what they're doing. They're making a mockumentary about it.
Yeah, here's my question for you. Let's say it is true that there is a 24-hour sun. What does that do to you? Does that change your viewpoint on anything?
Not even in the slightest, bro. I don't even care about the 24-hour sun. I think that to me, it wasn't even about that at all. You know, that's a moot point, bro. You know what I mean?
Well, but some people. Wait, if Peace wanted to respond, but some people that AE map doesn't really imply that there would be a 24-hour sun. So I'm not saying for you, but I mean it could be that some people may want to think the AE map is true, therefore it has to be fake because the end result of there being a 24-hour sun there is a problem for the AE map. I'm just saying in general. I'm not saying that's your position, but
that's
I never cared about.
Sun, though. You guys recognize that, right? It's not just the 24-hour sun. What they did show is that the sun's supposedly circling the sky from a different direction. So it's
from
more
the
than
southern
that.
pole, yeah. You have a whole southern star rotation, and the sun does the same thing the southern stars do, which would just not be that big of a surprise because the stars start arcing the other way from the equator. You see the stars start arcing the opposite direction of the north, so they're not doing like concentric circles the way they would on an AE map. They're already arcing the other way, just if you're at the equator looking south. And the stars, and then they make that whole rotation in the south, symmetrical to what they do in the north. The thing is, the sun follows the same path as the stars do. 1 degree south of the equator, there's stars on the 1 degree south. The sun's going to take that path. 2 degrees south, there's stars on that 2 degree south. The sun takes that path. So the sun is already arcing that way. So it completely.
Yeah, you can even see that from Punta Arenas too.
So what if there's an explanation for that?
Let me ask you this real quick.
What if they're looking in the wrong direction, right? What if they're not looking south? They're actually, or what if they think they're looking north, but they're actually looking in the south direction? Wouldn't that explain that?
Let me ask you this: do you think it was organic of Jared flipping like that to the globe after how many years? Over 10 years, and he's a very, very well educated person on flat Earth. He's debated many people.
Back to the directional thing, though, it's not like we would know what direction because, like, when Jaren had his compass, he had it flipped over, and it was like when he was moving, it wasn't moving. So, like, they weren't even showing us a real compass when he was trying to show us like proof.
Just real quick, Flatterday. So
yeah,
could you repeat your question one more time so I can? I had a thought.
Okay. So let's just do the fruit of the poison tree thing then. Okay, so like, how many you guys believe that Jaren's flipping to being a glober after how well educated he was and how articulate he was on flat Earth? Do you think that was organic?
No,
you think that was organic?
no. Here's the thing, though.
So now,
there is a I mean, I can't say we know it to be true, but there is another possibility too, right? Where he never actually had a real justification for believing in flat Earth in the first place. You know what I mean? He didn't actually believe it in the first place.
I don't buy it because this is the same suspect who was in behind the curve, bro. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. That's true too, right?
So he's hella obsessed already, bro.
There's a lot of different possibilities, but I cannot divine the intentions of a man's heart, right? It even says that in scripture.
No, true, but I'm just
divining
the intentions of I'm divining his actions, not his intentions.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
I'll just say on Jaren in general, I've never really thought of Jaren to be somebody who really asserted, like he didn't really go through tons of proofs and stuff. I guess he did.
He just repeated it.
It was a lot of repeating and regurgitation in general, like of him, just in general. Now I know that could be like debated and people could say it differently, but now and he was also trying to be like a kind of a celebrity in a way too. Like he was trying to be popular, trying to get views on his channel. Even on Globebusters, like he rarely brought anything new to Globebusters. You know what I mean? He would always do these like rants, but it was always like stuff that Bob had said or Witsit had said. Sorry, go ahead.
The NASA stuff. This is what really makes me suspect, right? Is the fact that he was the one that pointed out a bunch of things about NASA and the fakery of footage. That's huge. And then now you just believe like the Katy Perry rocket. Like what? That is crazy.
Well, the other thing though, I will say
I
about
don't think that's
Jaren's
organic,
position,
bro.
though-
I think it's not organic, dog. He's not that. Jaren's not that stupid, bro.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because like if you use the term OG, which I don't really use that term, but you know what I mean, like like being in this for a long time, like a lot of the other folks in this community, it's not like a bunch of them flipped. I know there's like Patricia Steer or whatever, but she's a whole. She came in later anyways, and whatever she's even all about. But I guess what I'm saying is that like from people I've known in this community, it's not like I can sit there and be like, oh yeah, like half of the quote unquote OG people all flip. So that's not the case. So I mean, the fact that Jaren did, it is kind of strange in a lot of ways. Another thing I'll say though,
And the timing too. The timing, bro. Come on, the timing of it. The basis of their documentary is going to be about how a flat earther changed to a glober because of this supposed quote unquote evidence.
Yeah, but here's another thing. Like I haven't watched all.
Bro.
No, I hear you. I hear you. And there could be motivation that he wants to be popular in the documentary, or he wants to make more money, whatever it is.
I don't think he had a choice, bro. I don't think he had a choice.
Okay, well, I mean, you can have your theories and ideas. I hear you. Oh, I just want to say one thing about Jaren's position though. Like when he, like in the overall thing of like, I didn't really watch all of his streams, but his overall thing is he thinks, from what he said, it seems that the AE map is the quote unquote only way the continents can be laid out on a flat Earth because of the way the sun, when it's high noon in the United States and it's high noon in China and it's high noon in Russia, he thinks that's the only one that works, and that is impossible with the 24-hour sun in the south. Therefore, Earth can't be flat; it just has to be a globe. Now, it's just that argument alone. There's some parts of that makes sense. A 24-hour sun with the AE map is very difficult to really explain. I don't think anyone really has anything solid. And so, and Jaren maybe he's not willing to look into the dual pole, or just maybe he's not willing to not know. He's not willing to be in the unknowingness and be like, okay, I don't know exactly how the sky works, and then stick with all the other things that there's no curve, no motion. So I'm just saying, like, there's a little part of Jaren's logic that he just thinks that's the only map that can be, and it's not that because it's 24-hour sun. Therefore, the whole thing is poof gone. And that's why he's been yelling like, it can't be flat, it can't be flat. So whether you think he's like an agent or paid, or whether he's just genuine with it, the thing about it being genuine though, it's not like a bunch of other people. Like there's a lot of other people that think there is a 24-hour sun there, and some even still think it could be the AE map, or they think it could be a different layout, but they're not jumping back to the globe. So like, yeah, I hear like your thoughts on that side of it. Like, why would Jaren actually? But he has a public persona. He wants to make money. Who knows?
How many times in the past? How many times in his video?
For to finish.
Oh, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
The question is, Jill, the AE map, isn't that the globe Earth map squashed down anyway?
Yep.
So the sun has to be able to work in that map because it is a globe.
Well, you're saying the AE map is like globe coordinates that are like smashed down
it
onto
is.
azimuthal. Yeah, but the sun. Yeah, I know. But if you take that, but the globe, it wraps it around to make the 24-hour sun work. Like,
but my
you have to make it a globe to make the 24-hour sun in the south work. Is kind of, what I mean? You got to wrap it around.
Yeah, but the thing is, the globe is the AE map. The AE map is the globe.
Yeah, and the only reason why we think you need to have it, have the ball be wrapped around in order for the sun to work is because you think the sun. We don't know how far away the sun actually is, so like.
Well, can I say one
Sorry,
thing too about what you were saying about Jaren was that he's not okay with like not knowing or something. He used to say all the time that he doesn't know about stuff and it's okay to not know. And then he also said in interviews right before TFE, and people said, well, what happens if people asked him, what happens if you do see a 24-hour sun? Would you flip? And he straight up said no. There's too many other things and blah blah blah. So I don't know. That's fucking weird. But yeah.
Not just that, but how many times has Jaren said in his videos in the past that you can't determine the shape of the Earth by looking at the sky? He said that so many times.
No, I hear that, and I hear what you're saying too, Russ. There's like there are big contradictions in his whole thing. Like he's like a different person now. Like he really is. It's like a different dude. Like it's a trip. Like the way he discerns things seems different.
What I see is that
it seems a little more angry.
Hold on. What I see when he was back in the days, he used to get mad when Glovers used to comment crazy shit in his page, and so much so that he was gonna turn off comments.
Like that?
I think you cut out. Did Elbow cut out?
Yeah, you cut out.
Let me just ask you guys: Would you guys give any credence to the whole 24-hour sun thing if it was just McToon and Duffy and those guys who went down there and made a video and there's no flat earthers who went?
Yes, I
would you guys still give it the same credit?
100%. If somebody had footage of the Antarctic sun, I would take it as serious. Like I'd look for holes in it, but it doesn't matter who records it. It just matters that somebody did.
But what were you trying to say, Elbow, before you got cut off? You said you got a phone call? Oh, okay. Go ahead, take me back.
And to Pure Rigor's point, what if you knew he was a fraud? Would you still trust it?
I'd scrutinize it more, right? I'd definitely scrutinize it more. But I mean, you still have to come up with a way to say this was all fake at the end of the day, right? If I look at the footage and I can't deem
you have to come up with a way to say it was real. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
There's too many
Well,
anomalies.
have you seen any other footage with the sun squishing like a football like that?
Well, Rustin,
Like,
one
show
thing
me
I
other
heard-
footage.
Yeah, but you
I
see
was,
it's on the edge of the camera, right? Like you see
well, I
how
have
it's
seen that.
positioned.
I mean, I don't know, like, I don't own one of those cameras. I haven't like gotten one and then filmed the sun myself or whatever. But after their trip, I was like flipping through YouTube Shorts one day, and there was like some dude that was like, he was just like skiing in Colorado, and he had that same camera, and the sun did that football effect. So I have seen
Can
like
you post it? Do you have
claims.
it by chance?
I don't. I could see if I could find it in my history, but it was a while ago.
Skiing?
It was somebody with that same camera, that 360 camera, and they were like in Colorado, and it showed like it just showed like a time lapse of the sun, and I just saw the football effect.
There's a time lapse with a 360 of the in the ocean that I got video of on one of my videos, and I looked right up at the sun, and it didn't look anything like that in that one.
And what about the same matching flares? Someone did post a montage of matching solar flares.
Wait, Beast, this one you posted, does this show it? Show the
I don't
football?
know. I don't think so, but that's what I saw for a second.
You know, I heard Jaren say that he'd go back to Antarctica in a nanosecond, but unfortunately he destroyed Witsit's technology. And it's a painful process to rebuild the camera.
Sorry, I got interrupted earlier with Mocha. But yeah, so what I was trying to say earlier was that Jaren was getting upset when he was getting bad messages. I'm talking about in the beginning of his starting off.
That in that one.
And what about the same matching flares? Someone did post a montage of matching solar flares.
Wait, Beast, this one you posted, does this show it? Show the
I don't
football?
know. I don't think so, but that's what I saw for a second.
You know, I heard Jaren say that he'd go back to Antarctica in a nanosecond, but unfortunately he destroyed Witsit's technology. And it's a painful process to rebuild the camera.
Sorry, I got interrupted earlier with Mocha. But yeah, so
In a nanosecond, but unfortunately he destroyed Witsit's technology. And it's a painful.
That's what I saw for a second.
You know, I heard Jaren say that he'd go back to Antarctica in a nanosecond, but unfortunately he destroyed Witsit's technology. And it's a painful process to rebuild the camera.
Sorry, I got
for a second.
You know, I heard Jaren say that he'd go back to Antarctica in a nanosecond, but unfortunately he destroyed Witsit's technology. And it's a painful process to rebuild the camera.
Sorry, I got interrupted earlier with Mocha. But yeah, so what I was trying to say earlier was that Jaren was getting upset when he was getting bad messages. I'm talking about in the beginning of his starting off, and was ready to turn off all text comments and everything. What happened this time was that even Flat Earthers was giving a shit. So I feel like he just like, you know what? Y'all giving a shit. Screw y'all, flipping over. That's what I feel it was.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but really, I mean, I've heard that argument or that idea, and I understand a lot. There was a lot of chaos and attacks and stuff, but is that a reason to like change your whole worldview and your position on things? Like, is he that flimsy of a quote unquote truther that like people got mad at me and so I just decided to go back to the globe because people were mean to me? Like, is that a thing?
If you listen to the videos in the beginning of his thing, I'll see when I get home. I'll send it to you, Jill. But if you listen to those videos, I mean, I could definitely tell that he did this out of spite.
oh, grow up then.
Yeah, that's what exactly.
Yeah, that's not the Jaren I remember. That's why I was saying maybe he got the jab or something, and all of a sudden he's like a different person. Like, that's weird.
No,
Nah,
it's
he
just
was forced, bro. He didn't have a choice, bro.
no. I don't think it was that either. I think he made a choice. I think he clearly made a choice, and I think he just wanted an out. He wasn't making as much money. You know what I mean? I think he just
I
wanted
mean,
an out.
he made a grip going down there. He made a good amount of money going down there.
Yeah, he
What did he
cashed
make?
out.
What did he make that we know of? I
I
mean, the
don't know.
documentary might pay him. I guess I don't know. Is that even?
He was raising money for stuff along with Witsit. Weren't they both getting donations for like equipment or different things, or was that just Witsit?
No, yeah, you're right. He did. I think Jaren raised like 3,000 or something. Yeah, he did have like a GoFundMe thing. I mean, he claims he spent all that on the equipment, the cameras and stuff that he apparently failed to
Breaking
get
them.
24-hour sun on because it corrupted or whatever. But yeah, he did raise like 3,000 to get equipment. I think something like that. I don't know the exact.
And he
amount.
just so happened to his camera just so happened to black out for 4 hours too. Like he's like, I called the camera place, they couldn't figure it out, and yeah, so there's just missing footage on the only camera that wasn't a 360 camera. How convenient.
Has he even released that? I know I heard it was like corrupted.
I
The
don't
only
think
part-
so. I think he just showed it. From what I remember, he showed it in a live stream, like clips of it, and showed how it was missing like 4 or 5 hours, and then and talked about it. But I don't think he actually ever released like the whole thing, like the way the other guys did with their 360 stuff.
Why would he not release it? Isn't that the whole point? They're going to go and release everything they did. Because I hear you. It's funny that I caught
But
that
he
too. 'Cause
doesn't
I barely ever watched Jaren's streams, but I saw that part. I think probably one you're talking about. Because didn't it show that like when the sun was moving, like the camera was showing the sun, but it didn't show the ground. So he was like complaining, like, "Oh, it only shows the sun," and people are going to complain that it doesn't show the sun and the ground. But yeah, I think I saw that too.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. And then also that he like I don't know. All I know is that there was a part where he showed his camera screen and how it's missing this whole as blacked out parts. He's like, I don't know. There was no. They said that the lens must have been on the camera, and he's like, I didn't. There was no lens on it, and the people at the camera place don't know why it's black for these hours, but it is. And I don't even. He didn't even specify which hours that they were blacked out for, and I thought that he was going to release it. But I mean, I guess if he's flipped and he doesn't care what we think, then I guess he doesn't care about.
And maybe he figures it's just more embarrassing at this point to release like a hacked up video that's not even 24 hours. But that's still.
Or maybe it's easier to not to be expected to release it if you flip because they're just like, oh, he doesn't care anymore. But I mean, it's all strategic, bro.
Well, all I know is that at the end of the day, it's like if you accept a 24-hour sun or not, you're still in the same position, right?
It still doesn't change the shape of the Earth. You know what I mean?
Does anyone think the military was involved in any aspect?
In any aspect? Maybe a couple aspects.
Corporate military.
Yeah, it doesn't really change the shape Flatterday per se, but it could change the map layout and how the sky works. Compared to, I mean, the Gleason's map says on the lower right-hand corner, it says on the, winter solstice, there's like eternal darkness or like, all dark at 80 degrees south.
Yeah.
It literally says that on the Gleason's map. And those guys went there at that time at 80 degrees south, whether you believe it's true or not. I'm just saying, and it was not darkness, it was a 24-hour sun. So either the Gleason's is wrong or he didn't know or he was lying or something's going on with that. Or I guess you could say that all the footage from Union Glacier, because dude, to me, it's like them going is not really that huge of a shift for me. Like just in terms of video evidence. I mean, I've never been there, so all I have to go on is evidence that is, claimed out there. And I'm just saying, I've done a pretty deep dive and looking at a lot of different videos from Union Glacier. So I mean, them going, it does add some because they got more footage of the sun, and then them going, people we somewhat know. I mean, we've met. I mean, I have met Jaren in person because I went to 2 Flat Earth meetups, and anyway, so
yeah,
I mean,
I've
met him, but I only talked to him those times. I've never interacted with him after
So
those times.
Gio,
I mean, it is sort of someone I know.
So
Yeah,
Gio, I have a question for you. The videos you have examined of the 24-hour sun, how many in total? 2? Prior to TFE?
Well, are you talking just from Union Glacier or from other spots?
From Union Glacier, the ones that you examined prior to TFE. How many do you think you've seen?
Well, when I found out they were going to go, I was like, okay, I'm going to look at like, okay, what have other people seen at Union Glacier? So I went on that whole dive, which was all like documented pretty much on this live.
But how many? How many?
There's only one. I only found one actual footage of a full 24-hour sun. It's actually like 2 cuts of it. It's like that one skydiving video. It's like at the end of the video, and it's actually it's technically like 2 cuts of it though, because it shows one cut where it's looking like straight up. And it's actually like not even the full 24 hours. It's like maybe 20 hours or something. It kind of it like doesn't really do the full. And then there's like a second cut of that where it's kind of angled like at that mountain or whatever. So there's kind of like, but that's the only actual 24-hour from Union Glacier that I found. Other than that, there was like 8 or 10 other videos that showed like a couple of them that showed the sun like passing by the mountain in the south, but it only showed like like 6 hours of it or whatever, just passing behind. There's like maybe 2 or 3 of those. I mean, I have them all saved. We could go through them all again or post them. And then there's like the solar eclipse from 2021 that shows the sun behind that mountain and the solar eclipse. There's that one.
Okay, thank you. Just one last quick question. That one of the 24-hour in Union Glacier, what was the weather like during that video? If you can recall.
Yeah, I'll just post it. You can see it.
Because isn't like Antarctica the windiest place on Earth?
Yeah, it was pretty calm.
So we have 2 times.
I've never saved any of these videos. If they take them down, I won't have access to them because I just haven't.
Yeah, there is no wind. There's no wind blowing in people's mics the whole time for that I saw for TFE.
Yeah, because normally, remember reports from people that go there, they say it's tremendously windy, right? We have video evidence of the storms that they encounter. But for some reason, the time they went, right, it was completely calm. And I'm just curious about this other video. Do you think they were both calm?
So here, I timestamped this. You can go. That's the skydiving video. These people only have 600 or 700 subscribers, and then this video only had like maybe 200 views when I found it, but now it has 554 views. But I timestamped it near the end there. It says thanks for watching, and then it shows it's pretty blue sky. Yeah, it's pretty much all a couple clouds for that one. And then if you go earlier in that one, also back at like, let's see, 2 minutes and 7 seconds, they show a cut of the sun passing behind the southern mountain as well on that video. Those are the 2 kind of things of that one. But
remember the webcams? You can go like we went. I mean, we were in Ether Cause like with Witsit and everybody. While he was coming in and out, and we're basically looking at the webcam footage as well. So the webcam footage in Union Glacier.
Yeah.
It's like it shows like stills like every 30 minutes or so or whatever, and it shows it in sequence. So I mean, it was like super cloudy the day before, and then like when they got there, it was just clear as could be. Like it was interesting, and then they said they had to leave a little earlier because there was a storm coming in. But then you look at the webcam footage, and it seemed to show that they're wasn't actual that bad of a storm coming in, but they just left early not to risk
There
it.
was no storm.
Right afterwards. I remember all that. But the thing is, like the fact that they had it super clear on that day, you know, as Witsit puts it, is just like, you know, that was definitely, you know, not a coincidence. Like God wanted that to happen. I believe in when he
Well,
says
let's say they
that.
were there. You know they have really easy weather modification techniques where they can change the weather just like that.
Right, but don't you think it's also possible that it's a good thing that this was revealed so that we wouldn't be deceived?
I mean, I don't think it's good or bad. You know, I mean, to me, it's just like whatever. It doesn't make a difference on what I think. You know, as far as that, you know, I may question certain people's characters now, but I mean, I don't follow any man, so it doesn't matter anyways. You know.
But
What they
some
wanted to
people
show.
wait, if Beast wanted to respond, but some people there could that AE map doesn't really imply that there would be a 24-hour sun. So I'm not saying for you, but I mean it could be that some people may want to think the AE map is true, therefore it has to be fake because the end result of there being a 24-hour sun there is a problem for the AE map. I'm just
What convinced? Okay, so the only rational, reasonable way to have the viewpoint you guys have is if you're subscribed to the Gleason model.
Not at all.
What I want to ask is what convinced you guys unilaterally, a lot of you speaking, that that's the real map of the world? Who told you that's how the world is?
You want to
That
subscribe
has
to that?
nothing to do with it, bro. The Gleason map has nothing to do with them faking it going to Antarctica.
It's got everything to do with it. It's
It
got
has nothing to do with it, bro.
Gatebreaker, the Gleason is not a model; it's a map. First of all, and second of all, I never claimed it. There's a lot of people in here that do not claim it. There's a lot of people that understand that it is just a projection of the lat long system. But when it comes to like talking to somebody about flat Earth and the concept, it's useful to show the idea of a sun circling around the north. That's all.
That's not answering my question. What convinced you guys that the Gleason map is the true layout of the world?
Well, I hear what
I never
Gatebreaker's
thought
getting
that.
at. No, I brought this up because like there's times when he's not here, so I was gonna say queue up because it's like people that are so like think it's like why the AE map? You know what I mean? Like why there's like
I know one
somebody
reason.
just showed that to you one day on the internet and somebody was like, I mean I'm just saying I said this to queue up. I'm not really trying to like invoke him. I'm just saying that because people that are like okay, first of all, Gatebreaker, I hear what you're saying. Flatterday is saying for him it's not about the AE map, so maybe that doesn't apply to him. He's just saying he thinks it's fake for other reasons. But I think what Gatebreaker is pointing out is that a lot of people have perhaps some kind of bias for the AE map, and then therefore have a problem with the 24-hour sun because of the AE map. And I kind of hear what Gatebreaker is getting at. Well, like, who sold you on the AE map in the first
It was
place?
Jaren that sold it.
But it's
I'm
not
sorry.
just that. We had corroborating evidence of flight paths, right? That debunked
Well,
the
and
globe.
Well, Jaren and a lot, pretty much all of Flat Earth in 2016, like knew that the AE map wasn't working. So I don't know why anybody's acting like Jaren's now acting like this is some new thing. Oh, well, the AE map doesn't work, so therefore I'm not a Flat Earther. But he's known that since 2016 and did numerous streams on it back then. So that makes no sense either.
And the fact that when people were drawing the flight paths across the AE map, like with straight lines, they're not using the map correctly. You guys know that, right?
Have you guys actually seen flight maps on the AE map?
Yeah, they make arcs as it's supposed to, right? Because it's not supposed. You're not supposed to draw straight lines through it.
Well,
You
in
got
theory,
this-
the
Sorry,
paths
go ahead.
could be straight. You mean they arc up to the altitude and then down, but they could also make a curved path on the ground. But yeah, go
Yes,
ahead,
and they would also be utilizing the potential wind, right? But there would be a reason for them to plant the U.S. military to plant the continents laid out in a wrong position, right? You wouldn't want your state enemies to know the layout.
Exactly, bro. I don't think they'd ever give the civilian access to a legit map. You know what I mean?
Well, I think
That's
a lot
just
of people
inviting
went with the
your state
AE
enemies.
map.
Okay.
I think it was kind of a lot of reasons. Like, for example, when I first, like, I had known about the idea of Earth being planar, stationary, flat, etc. before 2004, but in 2004 was one of the first times that I actually started like digging into it and trying to research and look into it. And when you came across Flat Earth in 2004, it was the AE map. That was Flat Earth Society. It was on there. It was elsewhere. Obviously in the literature, like it's in Gleason and other stuff too. So that was sort of the Flat Earth, basically, was that layout or that kind of map type layout. So it is kind of like there. Now, if you see it as like a backup PSYOP, then that's why it was there for research, for finding on the internet in 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you see it as a PSYOP, it's like it's already planted there. Some people see it as the real map, like, oh, this is the real one, and the globe is fake. So I think there's a lot of reasons that people clung to it. I do think there was definitely content producers like Eric Dubé and the guys that had come out at the beginning, Jaren as well, and others who were using it, promoting it.
Ja,
showing
dankjewel,
it.
schatje. Mijn probleem is zelf.
She was hot
It's
mic.
not Mike.
So I'm just saying that there's a lot of reasons, and I think there's even a deeper psychology. Like if you're deceived about the globe and you realize it's not a globe, people are looking for a replacement. You know, they don't want to just be like, it's not a globe and I have no idea what it is. They want something, you know, to put on their t-shirt, you know, put a poster on their wall, whatever it may be. People want that. You know, it's like human beings, like we're used to this kind of like root for your football team kind of vibe. So I think there's that too. And then it was offered as an alternative, as a viable alternative to the globe by a lot of different content creators and stuff. But there's also that thing, like I mentioned, I said it to QOP. I was like, yeah, but why really would one be biased towards that? You know what I mean? Like if you're really being independent, like that was just sold to us too. Like what reason to be like, that's my football team, that's the one. You know, it's kind of interesting to think of the psychology of why anyone would even defend that unless they verify
evidence, corroborating evidence. But I get what you're saying.
Gatebreaker, were you gonna go? Because I kind of clipped it. Go ahead. Were you gonna?
No, thanks. No, that was good.
So the basically outline of the AE map is the United Nations flag, right?
Yeah, and they probably had this before the landings. Oh, go ahead.
So that they created that logo way before people were into flat Earth and the AE map. So basically they had that logo on their flag. So if it is a psyop, then you got to give them credit with putting it out there like that. You know what I mean? Why would they put out the actual true map? You know,
there are other. There's like the Monty map, the Urbano Monty map from like the 1500s has that layout. So it's not only like Gleason's in the United Nations, and there's even other maps I've found like from the 1920s and stuff that have that.
I have hundreds of maps, archived of like very unique types of maps. But the one thing though, that's consistent with all of the maps is the latitude and longitude system, right? It's all based off of the stars. It's just the fact that when you start getting into world maps or like Atlas world maps, or you know what I mean, like getting into that, then you're basically you're in a fallacy at that point, right? You're not basically using those to navigate. You're just giving a conception, right? Like if you're actually going to navigate using those maps, you would get lost essentially. Like that's not supposed to be. Yeah.
Great point.
You're supposed to use local maps, like a 1-to-1 map.
Is the Gleason map equal to or 1-to-1 to the globe's distances?
No, because it wasn't supposed to be used for navigation. It's just supposed to be a longitude and time calculator for the sun.
And Peter, where the main discrepancy would be?
Where the main discrepancy would be? What do you mean? There's a scale that shows on the bottom of it if you want to see it.
So, like, is the Glober Antarctica equal to the Gleason Antarctica?
Is the Glober Antarctica?
You mean in distance?
Yeah.
Oh well, you can't tell on the Gleason's map because it's not meant for that. Like here's the scale.
So when we're looking at the Gleason map and we see the relative sizes of the continental pieces, is there any truth to that, even remotely? Yeah, go ahead.
It's not like perfectly accurate, but when it comes to the sun's positions, yeah, because that's what it was supposed to be used for.
Okay.
It's like supposed to be a sun calculator essentially. Like it's basically just tracking the position of the sun, and based off of where the position of the sun is, you can calculate your longitude. That's all it was supposed to be for. But it's only pretty accurate, like in the tropics, essentially. Like if you look at the diagram here, like that's as far as you can pretty much go with it, depending on like where the sun is.
Great point, Biasticles. And I think you did point something out too about the stars. So if we have to look at who was influential in mapping the stars, it was the Jesuits.
Yeah, the Jesuits. Yeah.
The Jesuits also made the first vaccine in forget what year, 1400s or something, with snake venom.
A lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that word vaccine actually comes from the word venom. It's crazy. And that when the snake's teeth are shaped like a needle, where the hole is like on the side. Like they actually took the way that a needle works, because it doesn't just have the hole on the tip of the needle, the hole's on the side. That design is actually taken from the snake.
I think didn't they actually used to use snake teeth as the needle back in the day? That's what I remember reading. Is that was the actual head of the needle, was like they would take a tooth from a snake and then attach that to a tube or whatever, and it's crazy.
But
yeah,
I found a channel that's a bunch of reposts. I already downloaded all the videos just in case. So, but speaking of Jesuits, I feel like I should just share this while I can. It's called Exposing the Caucustocracy. And the Caucustocracy means a government led by the worst, least qualified, or most unscrupulous people.
So,
where were we though? Where were we? We were on maps.
Well, I kind of want to ask, with the whole Gleason's and the AE and all this stuff. I mean, I never claimed the Earth was the AE map. You'll hear me on recordings over the years, back on that 24/7 server and stuff. I would always say I don't think that's necessary. I never asserted it as the map. I mean, I've never mapped the whole Earth, so how could I know? I mean, unless I've mapped it myself.
Exactly.
However, I did. I mean, it was used and discussed a lot, as a blueprint for the seasons, and it's been posted a lot. And so, I mean, I definitely been involved in a lot of conversations around it. And it was kind of like a blueprint or like a general, potentially viable. I also think it's kind of elegant and beautiful the way the continents come out from the center and stuff. If there's something cool about it, But there's all these issues, like, you know, at the equator, what the stars and the sun do, the south would have the greater distances, like all these things. But
The
I just
missing
want to
North
ask,
Pole
like, Crizzle just posted Gleason's book, The Bible is from Heaven and the Earth is a Globe. But I just wanted to ask, oh no, is the Earth a globe? Sorry, is the Bible from heaven? Is the Earth a globe? I'm just going to say this briefly. It's still in the map topic. Like, I'm not trying to shift it to Bible stuff, but it appears to me that some Bible folks have a bias or attachment to the AE map because they think the Bible somehow indicates that. Now, I know the Bible does, you know, have a certain phrases, but why is it that somebody who is biblically related would somehow think this AE map is correct? Like, there's nothing in the Bible that says it's the AE.
Yeah, nothing at all.
So what is that bias about? Because
Well, it's just about, I think, being flat and stationary, right? Same with the Quran. There's going to be Muslims, although it's very small today, but they use their holy book to believe that it was revealed from the Creator.
I mean,
I don't know if there's any attachment to the map.
Well, check this out. So, I mean, there's this entire right here. There's this entire section in the Library of Congress. It's from 2025, but they have all these unconventional theories about the Earth's shape, both ancient and modern. You guys remember the square and stationary map?
Yeah.
Right, the four corners. You have the four pillars. The Earth was laid on its foundations. You know, you could have the firmament, but the biggest issue that people have in terms of describing Earth's shape and trying to relate it to biblical cosmology is the simple fact that we don't have God's eye. Like, we don't have his viewpoint, right? Like, I don't have God mode to be able to see all of the Earth in its entirety. All of these maps, these world maps, try to do that. And that's just on its face, like, wrong. Like, even this map, like, even this, where you see this in, like, Hebrew biblical cosmologists. Now, technically speaking, this is just describing the different spots, like in a diagram, right? Like, you have the Sheol, which is Hades, which is beneath the earth. And then, you know, the deep waters below earth, the waters above. Then you have the Rakia, the firmament above as well. And Rakia is very important because it literally describes the Rakia as, you know, something physical and hard and like glass, essentially, and that was beaten down across the sky. So, like, there is something physical there that's containing everything. But that's it. Other than the four pillars, you know, you get the four pillars of creation, and then the Earth doesn't move.
Yeah, I believe we have corroborating evidence for this firmament, and I believe it was revealed from the Creator to the prophets for this very reason. There would be a day in the future where people would try to undermine reality, so they could go back to the record and see what the prophets, what was given to the prophets from the Creator.
Do you guys think if we take so you guys know the general shape of America, right? Not just not Canada, just America. If we were to, and we understand we can't see the whole thing, and if we were to take that and change the size of it as far as it appears as a shape and distort it and have it wrap around the entire world containing all of the oceans.
I don't really understand your question. Do you want to rephrase that?
You know America, the general shape of how it is.
Yep.
And the general size. So if we were play like a puzzle pieces game, and I have a puzzle piece representing America and another puzzle piece representing Africa, they could even be triangles for all I care. You would know that at least the bigger sized piece is Africa, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if we were to take America and warp it and have it wrap around the whole world, akin to the ice wall, do you think we have within our capabilities to figure out if America is one size or if it's the other size?
No.
Yep, I think so.
Because that's basically what's happening to Antarctica. Antarctica is the size of the globe, say. I'm not saying it's true, not saying it's false, just the general shape and piece and size. That thing has been warped and dwarfed, or not dwarfed, warped, and it's wrapping around the whole world. So the global version is saying that it's this size, measurable, whatever. But the Gleason version is distorting that and having it wrap and ring around the entire world. Could we work together as a community and at least figure out or figure out which one it could be?
I mean,
wouldn't that be more fruitful than trying to? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're asking about one of the most difficult places. I mean, if I asked you to validate a 10 square mile section of the Amazon jungle, could you do it? Maybe you'd have to spend a lot of money. You'd have to get all kinds of equipment. It's not even easy to get to the middle of the Amazon, let alone Antarctica, dude. Like, I hear you, and I hear you on that. I mean, one thing I would say, as far as I know, is that there are flights, like there's that trip called White Desert, or that company called White Desert, who does Antarctica trips, and they have those camps. They have like 3 camps that they go to. They're at like 71 degrees, though. They're not at 80. And they claim that they fly from South Africa to those camps, and then they claim they have another like hour or two flight from those camps to the South Pole. And then you have the Union Glacier. You go from from South America to Union Glacier to 80 degrees, and then they have a couple hour flight, to get to the South Pole. And then you have McMurdo, which is sort of closer to the New Zealand, Australia side, and then they claim they take flights there to the South Pole. So I mean, that information would indicate perhaps, if all those flights are legit, if that's all real, that there is a South Pole under the southern pole rotation of stars, and that you can get to it from all those continents. So that, but I mean, can I say that 100%? Have I verified those flights? No. I'm just going off of what is claimed in those ways. So, I mean, you're kind of asking to validate one of the most difficult places physically to go to, one of the most heavily restricted areas on Earth, one of the coldest, most brutal environments. So I hear you on the passion for that, but what can we do to validate further, to satisfy what you're referring to? If we had all the money and time and energy, yeah, you could maybe try to circumnavigate it or take a plane flight over it for sure with money, but without the resources currently, what further could be done?
That's fair. Maybe let's step outside of Antarctica. Let's go we're just doing a thought experiment. No one's actually. I'm not going to do this. So let's take the Tropic of Capricorn for example. On the Gleason map, the Tropic of Capricorn, that circle is a larger circle than the equator, and it's definitely larger than the Tropic of Cancer. Could we somehow figure out if that is the case or not?
You mean
without
the
having to
map?
call up
Yeah.
Will Duffy and having him pay for the next experiment in a flight? Is there any way we could figure that out?
Possibly, because
Well,
like these.
The sun would be moving at a faster speed too to account for the day with the AE map, concentric circle theory idea. So I guess we've always talked about if you could track the speed of the sun using the subsolar point, meaning if you take the subsolar point of the sun at one spot, put a flag in the ground, and then 30 minutes later, put the next flag in the ground and then time it. It's potentially that could be done with people who live in the South. If you have enough people, that could maybe be done on a fairly low budget, but still would take a fair amount to do it. That would just track whether the sun is moving at a different speed.
I would need a somewhat level surface. And dude, but there's the thing with the where are you under the sun? Kosho says 4 minutes. There's a 4 minute period where you're under the subsolar point. You could probably get that down. He was trying to use like a cup in the shadow or something, but you'd need a somewhat level terrain, and with some good tools, yeah, you could get something like that done.
Yeah, on the dual pole layout, it would not really be moving at a different speed. So, see, a lot of these things, it's like, I mean, I'm not even saying there's like a fully thought out dual pole, but just you guys have probably seen some of those layouts of the continents that would kind of be in general what it would have to be. And then it accounts for the two poles, the two sun, 24-hour sun, and the two star rotations. But the thing is, like a lot of those things are like only the AE map. Like the AE map is the only one that has the problem of the stars going straight at the equator, because the dual pole would have them go straight and the globe would have them go straight. But the AE would not. The AE map would have the Tropic of Capricorn, a much larger circle with the sun moving faster and a much larger distance. The dual pole does not have that. The globe does not have that. So yeah, some of these things are kind of like only AE. Oh, and then the Antarctica being a ring around the outside. Again, that's only an AE thing. The dual pole and globe would not have that. They would have it as a continent. And then also the distances between the southern continents, like from South Africa over to South America, for example. The AE map also has those much greater distances. The dual pole doesn't and the globe doesn't. So it's kind of like the AE is the one that has those differences basically. Although the dual pole has all kinds of issues too. I'm not sitting here saying like that's worked out either. I mean, there's a lot of.
Hey, you're saying the AE map is the only one that shows Antarctica is the ring of the ice wall around the edge?
Yeah.
No.
Are there others?
You got the Urbano Monte.
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought he meant the general AE layout.
Oh well, you got the Urbano Monte. What else you got? Oh, there's a lot of different projections. I gotta see this other one. But the thing is, it's still all the same projections. The one that has the Antarctic ring, like you have the square and stationary map, but that has like no traces of Antarctica there. Then you got the yeah, let me see here. List of AE maps. There's a bunch of them. Check this out though. I just posted it in chat. It's from Francis Bacon. Silvata Silvarum, a natural history in 10 centuries, together with the history, natural and experimental, of life and death, or of the prolongation of life, whereunto is added articles of inquiry touching metals and minerals and the New Atlantis, with the alphabetical table of the principal things contained in 10 centuries. So I know that was random.
That's a big PDF. I mean, for a PDF, it's like 90, I guess not that big, but 90 megabytes.
It's a fat book. It's 414 pages.
And it links it to that map, or? I was trying to pull it up to see what you were referencing.
No, I got there. How did I get there? Oh, I got there from more items like this, which is the Mundus Subterraneus. If you guys ever seen that book? That's by Athanasius Kircher. Let me show you this. So this has like a certain layout of. It's like an alchemical idea about certain maps. Let me see if I can find the full thing. Hang tight. I have the full book, but the thing is, it's hard to find those AE maps without it being like the same thing, but just different representation. Like you have the aerial map. You ever seen that one, like the 1961?
Yeah, but I think that one says like globe on it, doesn't it? It actually says like.
Oh, they're all
something like-
globe. They're all projections.
There's this
Let's
one.
see.
I mean, I've got a bunch saved that I've found over the years. There's this one I just posted.
Yeah,
too.
there's that one. I think it's 1961 or
This
41.
one? If you're talking about that
That's
one.
the one. Yep. Yeah, you got that one. Let me just post all of them. I'm just gonna go on my books here.
Well, like, let's say it's not this layout, the real Earth. Let's say it's not this, Gleason's AE type layout, and it's not the globe. Then how have they scrubbed the real map from like all of humanity? I mean, I guess I wouldn't. I mean, we could get into like whether we're like a reset society or what's going on with our history, but I mean, there is like, see, it makes some sense to say, oh, okay, it's not a globe, but when you see some of these historical, like even this one too, I just posted, like there are these kind of older maps that have, you know what I'm saying? So how could like these all be wrong and the globe's wrong and there's no trace of any of the real map anywhere? I mean, the dual pole one is like, those are projections like that are known about, but they're not really claimed to be like actual maps. Like you won't really, well, maybe I think there are actually some old ones that have the continents sort of laid out like that. But I'm just saying, like from the idea that the AE is not the case and it is stationary and planar of the Earth and it's not a globe, how has the real map been completely scrubbed? That's why the AE thing, it's like, oh, there's history to it. There's these old maps and stuff. That's why like people, that's another thing why people have clung to it. It's because there is some kind of seemingly history to it.
Here we go.
When you say clung to it, you mean after this whole TFE thing?
No, just in general, just people have, I mean, maybe clung's not the right word, but people have championed it. Because if you think about it, these people have not mapped the Earth, but a lot of people are like, it's not a globe, and then they've got, t-shirts and coffee mugs and, AE map kind of thing. And I understand people want like, a replacement, but I'm saying, why did they even jump to it at all? Like if they haven't verified what the Earth is. But there is these historical ones. Like, I just posted another historical one, but yeah.
Yep, that's another one. I want you to look at that PDF that I'm showing you. It's called the Darius Circle Number Bog. It's from Russia. It's in ancient Russia.
That's pretty cool. This kind of looks like a zodiac.
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
Well, that's the other thing that links with an AE map is you have the zodiac, which is sort of like the face of a clock, and you've got the 12 sections, 30 degrees each. It's like a circle going around. That's another thing that fits. I mean, the zodiac on a dual pole is kind of funky. You got this like it like splits in the middle.
I think the dual pole, I don't think that's viable. I'm sorry to anyone who thinks it's legit, but again, I don't think there is an entire map of the world. That's just my
the
opinion.
dual pole just matches what the sky does. That's why. Because like the GP points of the stars are not relative. Like people that want to say it's like a reflection and it's just like moving with you, like there's a southern reflection, that doesn't work because the GPs are not relative. Meaning if one dude's over here and another dude's 100 miles to the right and he's seeing a different quote unquote reflection, you don't have like relative star positions. Like they're consistent. They're singular. There's one GP for every star. So that's why if you have two huge poles in the sky, you'd have two huge poles on the ground. The logic of that, I'm just saying. Which is why some kind of dual pole would match with that. If the GPs were relative, if they moved all over when you moved in the south, sure, yeah, maybe it could be a reflection or something. But
you see this though, the one I showed you. If you read it, it's insane.
Yeah, there's a lot in here. I'm skimming through it.
Yeah, there's like a 9-day week. Monday, Tuesday, Arbiter, Thursday, Friday, 6th, Gray Hair, Octopus week. I don't know. It's from an ancient Slavic calendar. Like I wish I could read this. If someone can translate this. Like this one. This one's crazy. Talks about a lot of stuff in here.
Well, the Globers have a map. They have a model. They're using that map and their model to create real world planes, flights, all these things. And they're doing it reliably to conduct business every single day.
Yep.
So if they can do it, why can't I'll throw myself in here just for FE? Why can't we?
No, I mean,
Does
yeah,
the
there's nothing wrong
current
with
share the same map
essentially.
as the great? Okay.
As long as if it's 60 nautical miles per degree, I mean, what difference does it make? Like, how would you make your map any different if that's what you're going by?
The thing is the Gleason is not 60 or 69 miles per degree. Not in the southern hemisphere. Due to you remember the Antarctica being warped? It's that 69 miles per degree doesn't work in the southern hemisphere.
No, it does. It's just it is what it is. It's still 69 miles per degree. You just have different reference points. But then again, I haven't verified it myself. But yeah, the most reliable thing we have is the stars, and it's like, you know, that is a standard.
So 69 miles per degree is based on Polaris, right?
Yep.
Okay, but you can't see Polaris in the southern hemisphere. So what's going on with that thing?
Based on all stars.
What?
It's based on all stars.
All celestial bodies do that, are claimed to do it. But I think what she means is like, if you do the 69 miles per degree from Polaris, then you get to the equator, it's going to disappear, and then that's 6,210 miles is claimed to be.
Pick another star.
But that doesn't correlate with the 24,901 mile circumference.
Nope.
On an AE map.
That doesn't
it's
correspond with the globe either.
Well,
How
it
can
does
the globe
if you
have that?
cross the globe. Does
Yeah,
it?
well, I mean, if you're talking about like how you have that relationship of what is it, 69 miles per degree, right? 69 times 90, which is 1 degree of latitude, all the way out to the equator. That's 6210. So then, if 6210 is what would that be? Is that the radius?
Well, it's the distance from the North Pole to the equator on the surface of a globe, or just on the surface of a planar Earth.
So what would be the circumference, right?
Well, then you go 69 times 360, you get 24,901. So, or you get 24.
That's much would appreciate it.
Because it's like 69.01 or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So if you do straight 360 times 69, you get 24,840. But they do 24,901 because it's like 69.0 something. The actual. It's not exactly 69 miles. It's like 69 and a little change. So that's where the little change gets you the 24,901 claims.
Wasn't there something to do with like 2 pi r or something like that? Or
That's
pi
just the way
r?
Bev. That's just the way Bev took what I told him about the circumference thing. He was in here one day, and he didn't. I was talking about how this issue about how if you have a 24,901 circumference, let's say on a Gleason's map, the radius of that is 4,000 to the equator or to the North Pole.
Right.
You know what I
It
mean?
wouldn't be
Whereas-
6,200, right? It'll be way
Right.
bigger.
But the actual radius of a 24,901 mile circle is actually 6,210. Just in terms of the radius of a circle in general. So that would mean that for the AE map, you either have to have 4,000 from the equator to the North Pole. Whereas on the globe, when you bubble it up into a globe, you get 6,210 along the surface of the globe, and then the 4,000 is the radius to the center of the globe.
Yeah, it's just doesn't make sense on either side. It's a circle.
Well, it does if you just do an azimuthal projection of the globe, which is why the Gleason's has that kind of going on. The globe math that's squashed into an AE, so it kind of maintains the graticule and the way that the globe would project it.
But I mean, if you have that relationship in the sky, regardless. Oh, Tam, are you trying to get in? You gonna?
I was just going to ask if anybody ever answered why on the chart you can't measure.
I can't hear you at all. Can anyone hear her?
No, can you fix your mic?
Can you hear me now?
No, your mic is pretty bad. Oh
Yeah,
wait.
it was real muffled or
Is that better?
Ah, there you go.
Much better. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, that's my headphones. I was just asking, has anybody ever given a reason as to why you can't measure Antarctica or North Pole on Google Maps? Like it creates a C, it won't do a full circumference of it.
I mean, you can, but who's to say it's accurate?
No, it changes. It goes into a C.
I mean,
It
you
doesn't
use
No, we were trying to do that here one day, and yeah, you couldn't draw that line over it on Google Maps.
You can't make a circle. It doesn't.
It won't even let you.
No, it makes a C shape. It won't make a complete loop. It makes a C shape. It'll say the circumference is this line, but then it'll show you a C shape, and the lines will never join into a circle. It makes.
Yeah, because it's a Mercator. It's a Mercator projection. That's what it would look like. If you go on Google Earth, you can do that. Again, not to mean it's accurate.
On Google Earth, if you try to use the ruler to go around and then try to close the loop, it doesn't close the loop though.
You can't do it. We were here. I saw somebody.
It doesn't do it. I've tried 100 times.
I'll do it right now.
Somebody was trying to do it live in here one day, like I don't know, maybe 6 months ago or so, and they were sharing the screen. You just can't do it. Multiple people were trying to do it.
I'm gonna try right now. What do you want me to do? Pole to pole?
Yeah, but if you look at old maps, they always show it as two circles, and there you see that Antarctica land is a half part on the bottom of one of the circles, and the other part on the half part is on the other half of that circle. So, and if you look at NASA, showing us that that Earth has two inner fields within a big field, and with the equator zone, with the Orion belt being the star in between those two fields. I think that everybody's always saying those are different stars, but I think those are stars projecting on two hemispheres that come from out of the center of the field itself. It is showing the lights of all the fields.
All right, what were you gonna say, Gio?
No, I was kind of trying to follow what she was saying as well. But well, I'd Beast, if you're pulling that up, or if you were going to, I was just going to post this from what we were saying before. I have to put a disclaimer and say I'm not claiming this is what the Earth is, because you post stuff in chat and people are like, "Oh, you say this is what it is." But I just want to say, Beast, just from that last topic, I just one day took this one of these dual pole general kind of ones, and I just threw a little. I just took paint and put the 6210 distance from the equator, and then 12K, 12K. I don't know if that's like, I'm just saying on a general dual pole, you maybe could have the 6210 from the equator to the poles, and that kind of links to what Crizzle was saying, like the idea that you have like two fields, like you'd have the northern field of rotation and the southern. But I'm just saying the AE map has that whole issue of like the equator distance and then the radius thing, because you have to make you have to make the equator a circle on the AE. On this, it's straight. And so could you actually have a 24901 straight line equator and then 6210 to the poles? Because you don't really have like a radius of a circle. You have kind of like a two fields. But
I see what you're saying there. But do check my screen out. I see what you're saying now, you guys. It makes like a loop, like a looping shape on Google Earth.
Oh yeah, let me see. I don't. Oh, like that.
See,
What is that? Did you
dot.
map that out or?
Yeah, I just went from pole to pole.
Oh, okay.
40,000 kilometers.
That's the 24901 number, or should be.
Right, just about. But yeah, I mean, you could do it. It's very strange. Oh, I added 3 points. Whoops.
Why does it look like that though?
Looks like pi.
So how do I? God dang it! All right, we're gonna try again. Boom.
Oh, you gotta sneak that golden ratio in there somewhere.
It's right at the South Pole. The spiral. Is this what they're talking about when you?
I think so.
They said C shape.
Do North Pole too. Do right around the center of North Pole. Go the other side and go where there's no land, and try to do on the where just the water is, where you know that you can see where the North Pole is supposed to be, and try to measure that.
Ma'am, what's your screen name? The lady that was just talking, please.
Crizzle.
No, that was Tam.
No, that was not.
Sorry.
Oh, Tam, were you here the day we were doing that in here? Because we did that in here. The same thing you're talking about.
No, I did it. I did it a while ago. When I saw Dave Weiss's video that he posted. That person did it, and I did it right away. And so it used to be easier to do, and it's a little harder now. But yeah,
It's from South Pole to the South Pole. I mean,
wait, what does this tell us, Beast? What's this supposed to tell us?
I have no idea.
By the way, I know you
Yeah,
guys
but
are.
if you look at Antarctica,
I'm doing it.
if you
Tam.
look at Antarctica, how that tsunamis hit Antarctica only from the east side.
no,
and never from the
that's
west
not what I
side.
meant. Go around Antarctica. Try to circle Antarctica, and then do Australia. Do North. Circle Antarctica. Like close your measure. Take your measurement and go outside of Antarctica, the perimeter, and drop your point all the way around Antarctica.
Okay. Like how many times?
Accurate.
Zoom all the way in, basically.
About 15
pixel
times.
by pixel. Yeah.
33
Do it all the way around the circumference of Antarctica and try to close the loop.
Okay.
You can.
What's that going to show us?
Basically, you can look at the live stream. I've posted a couple in there when I was playing around with this, so it'll give you. It'll show you what I did. If you want
Wait,
to
Pete,
crack
are you
it
gonna
yourself.
go along the shoreline? That's.
I don't know, dude. I don't know what you guys
No,
want
you
from
could
me.
do it in the water.
No,
You could do it in the water around it. Just do it in the water around it, but
Okay,
not
all right.
half the Earth.
Try again. So just like around it.
In,
Around
in
the water,
Google
yeah.
Earth Pro, Google Earth Pro gives you the circle tool. So I just did that. I posted a picture, and then I created a similar size circle in the North Pole.
There, see? Now try to close that loop. Do it again. Do it bigger. Do it smaller. It just keeps doing the same thing. And then do the other side. Do the North Pole. It'll give you the same C shape. That same C shape.
To do it around like Australia and around North America, just to make sure it's not a weird circle then.
No, you can. Yeah, you can. Yeah, go around the other continents. Do that. Go around the other continents and watch what happens. Continents, sorry.
All right, let me try this again. All right. Oh, weird. Huh. Close up, buddy. Oh, there you go.
Oh, you closed it now.
Yeah. Was it supposed to show me?
No, that's not doing what you want. You gotta use Google Earth Pro for that one.
What do you mean?
Filling out for the pro over here.
All right. Measurements work best in 2D. That's kind of funny.
That's funny.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't really. It's fine. There's a lot of weird stuff on Google
No,
Maps.
I
that's
said
for
try
sure.
it on a different continent. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's this supposed to
Okay,
show
sorry.
us? Like what?
Yeah. I said
Ooh.
go and try and measure another continent. You won't get that C shape and you won't get that thickness. You'll get the line around it. It'll give you the circumference.
And what is the end result?
It's an anomaly when you try to do it at the North and the South Pole. Every other continent it works fine.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's so many anomalies around the North and the South.
Not do it in OpenStreetMaps.
Now do it standing on one 1 foot.
Left-handed. You got to use your left hand on the mouse.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. But yeah, that's weird. I mean, I'm gonna post it again just so people can use it. I still think it's like the coolest map to explore things with. Like if you guys think there are some like anomalies with maps or whatever, or if you have like areas you want to explore, I still recommend open street map blueprint mode is the best.
Oh, I remember when you showed us that. That was dope too. Yeah.
Yeah, remember we were looking at like Area 51 and Area 52, and it showed the layout. Is that one, the open street?
It named all of the craters. Yeah.
And it showed all these like underground like tunnels and stuff. That was crazy.
All of the tunnels.
In Colorado, bro, they got to have mad tunnels in Colorado because that's where like a lot of the millionaire, billionaires, trillionaire people build their underground bunkers. And if you fly in from Hawaii or something, you're not going to want to be scrambling above ground where the peasants are. You're going to want to be, get to your spot quick underground. And like that's why the Denver airport's probably so crazy with all their crazy like symbolism and stuff.
No, it definitely seems like that airport is a hub. It would make sense because it's at high altitude and it's in the middle of the country. If like water levels ever rose or something, sea levels or it rised up or whatever, and all that makes sense. They would have a huge underground thing there.
Yeah, that's a very famous location to build underground bunkers because you're at such a high elevation. You know what I'm saying? You could you get a good bunker over there. So you're not going to get a good bunker in Florida. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some people speculate that's where a lot of the money is going rather than space projects. It's for underground tunnels between states and countries.
I think a lot of people actually recently started using New Zealand. I think Colorado was the place, but then they started doing a lot in New Zealand. I don't know. Who knows where they're going to flee to when they possibly pull the plug on this. Do a reset, flee to your underground bunker, wait till the smoke clears, come pop out, you're right back at it. And now you got all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got all this technology. Like they probably already did this mad times. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, they probably gave that to you. Could have given all this tech to people. All the good books and songs and stuff. Like you have all the data, so you could just give it like, yo, you want to be a famous author? You helped us with the reset. Here you go. I'll give you all. I'll give you all. Here's the Tolkien guys stuff. We'll give it to you. You can come out with it, act like it's yours.
You think they have an underground route from the Vatican all the way to the Denver airport?
There is a theory. Someone showed an entrance with all the maps. Oh, sorry, all the flags outside of the tunnel.
That'd be such a far stretch, but who knows?
Yeah, that would.
Well, look at the money they've taken from society, right? The last 10 years alone from NASA is $200 billion plus.
Regardless of money, it's just like that's just crazy.
Under the oceans. No, on the globe, you just go straight through the ball. Just dig straight down.
Well, they already have tunnels between two nations, right? France and England.
No, but what you said about NASA, yeah, all the money they're actually taking, they're not actually going to space, but they're actually using it for underground development. It's a pretty interesting idea.
Right. Wouldn't they tell us the opposite? If they're saying it's outer space, it would be more like inner space.
Underspace.
Yeah, and what about the seed bank in Spitsbergen of Bill Gates? Why put it in the Arctic zone if you know when the old maps there was no ice in those regions? And non-GMO.
May I cut in for a while now? It's been quite so. If anyone can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you. What's your screen name? Introduce yourself to the class.
Tommy Grenvall. I'm down there somewhere.
Welcome, Tommy.
Hey, I was listening before and jumped in and talking about the flat Earth. So I'm actually making a video doing some research, and I am a glober. I'm going to say that first, so no one's going to have me, asking if I'm a global flat earther. But many times I have heard flat earthers asking for evidence for a globe Earth, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. If